You know, a lot of people revere the Suzuki Carry as one of the best K trucks in the game. And while that very well may be true from a street cred perspective, there is one that people have overlooked. This is the Acty. You see, unlike the Suzuki Carry, which has a manual selector when it comes to four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, high, low, etc., this one actually utilizes Realtime, which means it is rear-wheel drive biased, and when it needs power or it experiences slip, it sends power to the front wheels as well. But it is all still connected mechanically all the time. There are only 4 manufacturers that make K cars and subsequently trucks. That's Honda, Suzuki, Mitsubishi, Daihatsu. So anytime you see something like a Nissan Clipper or a Toyota Pixis truck, it is going to be a clone of these trucks because these are the only 4 manufacturers that actually make them. You'll see a bunch of things on the back here. This is an Acty 12 valve 660cc and the payload is 350 kg, which means you can get in here no problem, and you can fit 350 kilograms of stuff back here. To be honest though, it's a liability thing. These things can carry so much. We put, I think, dang near 1600 kg of gravel in these things, and they run like nothing. These things are incredibly strong. They're incredibly capable. They have crazy suspension and insane braking. And we're going to be driving around a little bit on the fields here around the foothills of Mount Fuji. But let's just look at it for what it is. The entry to these cars is like sitting in a shower chair because, I mean, you just hop right up and in you go. There is an ample amount of space on the passenger side. There's lots of space over here. On the driver's side, it's a different story because you got a lot of this stuff around and you can't adjust any of it. So on the driver's side, the driving position is not the best. You see, the thing is, you can't move the wheel up and down, and your clutch is basically, you just live and die by that. That's your clutch point right about there. And you got to get your leg out of the way, and there's not one of those things you put your feet on. It's, you just get your size 11 shoes kind of out of the way like that, and away you go. Your shifter is situated right here, and again, this has no selector. So a lot of the time a Carry would have a selector right here, and you go clunk, and you would engage the transfer case, any drive shafts that need to be engaged, etc. This one's full-time, real-time, so it's always active. Now look at this. There's no tack on here, but it's interesting because it tells you when to shift based off of the speedo for the transmission. So 1 will be till about 30, 2 will be to about 40 something, and 3rd will be 60 something. 4th and 5th, they just leave it to you to dictate how much more you want to drive. You have your hazards right there, and you have your lights, your fans. Everything works. Everything's really good. The thing about these cars is that typically the kilometers are very low. It's got 82,000 kilometers on it because you don't really drive these cars a lot. You just drive it over there and over there. And we're going to be doing some driving on these fields just to give you an idea of what everything is like to hop in one of these and just go. These things are so cool. They're so manageable. They have crazy turning radiuses, even with the fact that this is all mechanically connected. These things are so overly capable for the size, and I love every minute of driving these things. K-trucks are mostly single-use purpose vehicles. They are meant to carry stuff, hence the Suzuki Carry. This one's the Acty if you're just scrubbing by and joining us. But they are meant to carry things. You can put a tree in the back. You can carry a fridge, a washer, a dryer, a stove, all sorts of stuff at the same time. And all of while, this is a K-class vehicle. This is 660cc. It does not intrude on any other classification of vehicle. The only thing that we'll point out is if you live here, you will get a 400 plate on this car because it is larger and heavier than a typical K car like a Wagon R or a Suzuki Cappuccino, in which case you'll get a 500 plate. It's really the only downside to these vehicles. Honestly, I love everything about a K truck. They're hyper capable, hella capable of doing anything you want without getting a Toyota Dyna or something grossly expensive that's $16,000 for a bigger truck than this. This is a perfect kind of compromise between everything if you can get past the small little, let's call it, quirks of a vehicle when it comes to something that is so exposed like this. But hey, when you get weather like this 330 days a year, you don't need much cover. Till the next one.